Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Aleichem is on page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni, Barchuni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zetchem, Zetchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to those of you joining us here in the sanctuary this evening. Welcome to those who are joining us through our live stream or the magic of the internet or however Rabbi Reinhardt likes to describe it. And on this Shabbat, or this Friday, end of week, as we welcome in Shabbat, yes, tonight we are small but mighty here in the sanctuary because, yes, this is one of those moments where, as American Jews, there's a lot of American going on outside, and it's also Shabbat. And so sometimes those things coincide, and we have to think about what we do. And I'll just say there's no right or wrong answer, and the beauty is that Shabbat is 24 hours, so if people are out enjoying tonight, they can enjoy Shabbat tomorrow as well. But we think about the sanctuary and Shabbat and coming together, and each of us comes on a Friday evening. We're here for different reasons. Some to just end the week in quiet. Some of us might be here for community. Some of us here for Kaddish. Some of us here just to take in the prayers. And so we come into this sanctuary tonight to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter here in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. And may we, in the brightness of this Shabbat, may we let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayers. And so on page 120 and 121, we'll find our candle blessings and then Kiddush. And I invite forward Dale Schwartz to lead us in our blessings this evening.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And now, if you are able, I ask you please to rise as we prepare for Kiddush.
And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all of their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, boreh peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho be'ava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
You may be seated. And this evening, I'm going to share a story with you. But I'm going to give a little context to my story because I've been asked why I'm telling a Halloween story. And I'm not telling a Halloween story. I'm telling a story about witches, which actually exist in our tradition. And the story that I'm going to tell in a moment actually comes from a book called The Rabbi and the 29 Witches. And I'll just say to Suzanne Levy, thank you. She gifted this to me many years ago. I have a love for witches, not like the black hat cackling witches, but the idea of witches and women gathering in groups and so on. And I think this story is based on a Talmudic story of Rabbi Simeon ben Shetta, who defeated a coven of 80 witches. And if by any chance you are on social media, be it TikTok or Instagram, you can go to an account of one Miriam Anzavin, and she has done Daf Yomi. She tells stories, teaches about the Talmud page of the day, but she actually tells the original story and talks about it as the Coven of Ashkelon. And anyway, in this story, the rabbi tricks the witches into showing their powers. Ultimately, he defeats them by lifting them up from the ground and recognizing that their power comes from their feet being on the ground. And while it's a very dramatic story, aside from this story in particular in the Talmud, witches in rabbinic literature are actually rarely depicted as demonic creatures, although rabbinic literature doesn't really know what to do with them. More often than not, they're stories against women who are gathering in groups and talking or doing different things. These witches are not so nice. This is called The Rabbi and the 29 Witches, and it was rewritten, I guess, by Marilyn Hirsch. Once there was a little village, neither rich nor poor, neither especially wise nor foolish, and life was simple. Children went to school, cows gave milk, grown-ups went to work, and it was a normal village except for one thing. Under a nearby hill, in a deep, dark cave, lived 29 of the meanest, scariest, wickedest witches you could imagine. They brewed evil potions, they raised bats and buzzards, and they zoomed on their broomsticks, screeching hideously, and they bit each other just for fun. They turned flowers into poisonous mushrooms, and they planted them around their cave. Once a month, when the moon was full, the witches flew out shrieking and howling over the village. Cats yowled, dogs yelped, chickens laid cracked eggs, and cows gave sour milk. Babies cried. Everyone had terrible witchy nightmares. But if it rained on the night of the full moon, the witches stayed in their cave. So on clear full moon nights, villagers would rush home early, lock their doors, bolt their shutters, hide under their beds, or bury their heads in their pillows. People were born, they grew up, and they died without ever seeing a full moon. One day, an old woman said, "I want to see the full moon before I die. Is that too much to ask?" "Well," her friend said, "considering the witches, maybe. But let's ask the rabbi." After all, he was a rabbi, and he might have the answer. The rabbi thought long and hard. If there's no full moon, there are no witches. No problem. If there's a full moon, there are witches. Problem. But if it rains on a full moon, no witches, no problem. Aha! He called the older woman and said, "Bring me 29 brave men tomorrow night. Each should bring a long white robe and a clay pot with a very tight lid." The next night, as rain poured down, the rabbi said, "We're going to get rid of these witches once and for all. Put your robes in the pots and keep them dry." The men, though very nervous, trusted the rabbi. They followed him to the cave, each carrying his pot. Near the cave, even the bravest man looked scared. Some say that even the rabbi looked a little worried, too. They hid under a ledge, and the rabbi whispered, "I'll go in first. When I whistle once, put on your robes. When I whistle again, rush in, grab a witch, then listen to me." He put on his robe, he made his scariest face, and he entered the cave. "Witches, I'm coming in," he shouted. "Who are you?" they screeched. "I'm one of you," he said. "You do look like a witch," they said. "But how are you dry?" "I walked between the raindrops," he replied. "Impressive! Come on in." And the chief witch growled, "Why are you here?" The rabbi said, "Show me some magic, and I'll show you some of mine." "Why not?" said the witches. And they conjured a feast: bread, wine, fruit, roast, stews, cookies, cakes, everything delicious. "Let's eat," said the rabbi, forgetting for a moment why he'd come. "Not so fast," said the chief witch. "Show us your magic." "For my first trick," said the rabbi, "I'll produce 29 handsome young men to dance with you." "No one's asked me to dance in 400 years, cackled one of the witches. The rabbi whistled once. He whistled a second time, and in rushed the men, each grabbing a witch and whirling her around. "And now," cried the rabbi, "I'll teach you to dance between the raindrops." The men carried the witches outside into the rain. "You tricked us!" shrieked the witches. But the rabbi had guessed their secret. Witches feared the rain for a reason. As the men watched, the witches shrank smaller and smaller until they vanished completely. "It shouldn't happen to our worst enemies," said the men. "But a good feast shouldn't go to waste." Someone ran back to the village with the news that the witches were gone forever. And that night, under the full moon, everyone, from the oldest to the youngest, came out to look. The moonlight turned the rooftops to silver, and they all agreed the full moon was beautiful. And then they went home, got into bed, and slept soundly with no nightmares at all. And from thereafter, they got to witness the full moon every month. So a little dramatic in terms of how to get rid of witches, but I'll share one more thing as we move into Shabbat, that the Talmud in Pesachim 110a tells us that the threat of a witch may be deterred by reciting the following curse. So I'll share with you this curse from the Talmud. "May boiling excrement in a sieve be forced into your mouth, you witches. May your head go bald and carry off your crumbs. Your spices be scattered, and the wind carry off the new saffron in your hands, witches." It's a lot of words for a curse. And Shabbat 66b says that in order to create good defense against illness caused by witchcraft, you can have 7 loops of knots tied on the left side of your body. Witchcraft? Talmud thinks it exists, so perhaps. So we now continue welcoming in Shabbat on page 138 as we join together singing Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat lekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו
remain standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai
And we turn to page 148, and in the middle of the page, we will join together in the English of the Ma'ariv Aravim. But as we come to this last Shabbat, last night of October, we truly have now been in this week where we've seen our seasons change. And so it really gives a different sort of power to this prayer this evening as we think about God who creates and God who is the one, if we think about it, maybe in control of all of these cycles of nature. We join together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. And we turn to page 150 as we join together, singing Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha
Now between Ahavat Olam, God's love for the people Israel, in between that and Ve'ahavta, where we speak of our love for God and the ways that we show it, we now come to page 152 and join together singing Shema. Page 154, thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And we turn to page 157 and we'll join together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158, we join together, Mi Chamocha.
Ba'elim Adonai, Bi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osef eleh. Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha
We turn to page 160, and though the Talmud may give us curses that we could say for protection, the beautiful thing about our tradition is that we actually have prayer and blessing that we are able to utilize as protection. And Hashkivenu is one of those prayers that we offer in the evening as we ask that God spread a shelter of peace over us to protect us as the darkness comes and to protect us until we get to the next day, that we may rise up in peace once again. And so we join together, page 160 with Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Lechaim. Lechaim, lechaim, lechaim.
And we turn now to page 164 in our prayer books as we come to the Shabbat Amidah. And at 165 we read, "Pray as if everything depended on God, and act as if everything depended on you." We now rise with those words in our heart.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We turn to page 173, and as we hold Shabbat in our hearts and our minds on this day, of course, of Shabbat, we read together at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. On page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. And on page 177, we join together at the top in this prayer of gratitude. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el hodot. And on page 179, we join together in a prayer of shalom, a prayer of peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael ba shalom. And as we are in this section of our service known as the tefillah, the prayer, we call to mind those things in our world and our lives that mean so much to us. And so first, we offer a prayer for the state of Israel as we connect ourselves, our lives, our Judaism, and our Shabbat to Jews around the world, most particularly our fellow siblings in the land of Israel. And so I offer this prayer, not in our prayer book, but written by our very own Eva Ashner. Thank you, Adonai, for granting Israel the courage, the strength, and the power to defend her borders and her people. May the country continue to flourish. May Israel and we never give up hatikva, the hope that the day will come when Israel will be at peace with her neighbors. And may Israel always exist as a homeland for the Jewish people, to which we say, Amen. We also turn our thoughts perhaps closer to home, to our loved ones, those in our family, our friends, and in our community who can use prayers of healing and of health, whether of body, mind, or soul. If you're thinking of a loved one this evening, I invite you to please rise as one community. And I invite you to share their name out loud that our prayers might join together. Please be seated. We turn to page 371 and join together in a prayer of healing. We truly wish all those in need of healing a refuah shlema, a return to wholeness and health. And in this moment, I invite you to turn your thoughts to the prayers of your own heart as we pause now for silent prayer.
Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall name your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chaim, lesimchat chaim, lesimchat chaim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, I'm Helene Sherman, and I'm on the Board of Trustees for the United Hebrew Temple. And here are some things that are going on, many things that are going on, and very interesting for the temple and for you. Tomorrow, there'll be Torah study at 8:45 a.m. in the Spielberg Chapel and on Zoom. Shabbat morning service is at 10 o'clock in the Millstone Sanctuary and on live stream. And Musar and mindfulness, which is always wonderful, cultivating balance and wisdom with Rabbi Rosenberg at 11:30 in the Millstone Library. So a lot to do. And there are several upcoming events. There will be, and I hope I'll say this correctly, but we're going to join for Maimonides, see, I messed that up already. Maimonides, 13 Principle Essential to Jewish Faith. And the name of the program is I Believe, the annual theme this year with Rabbi Rosenberg. And that is called Anai, I Believe, and Mahamim. That is I Believe. The next class is on Monday, November 10th at 6:30 p.m. or Tuesday, November 11th at 2 o'clock. Also, you can join Rabbi Reinhardt for Whiskey and Wisdom on Wednesday, November 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the Kaplansky Center. Cantor Rickman will also have a class for Anai Maim, I Believe, on Thursday, November 20th at 6:30. Evening, not in the morning. No.
Thank God.
And the Rabbi Rosenberg also on Sundays for the same I Believe monthly conversations. Come to one or come to all. Everyone is welcome. The next class is Sunday, November 23rd at 9:30 a.m. in the Spielberg Chapel. If you're interested in something even more exotic in a way, an intergenerational Israel trip. So if you're interested, please speak to Rabbi Rosenberg. These events, all services, programs, and more can be found in our Sunday Blast, our Digit Bulletin, and our congregational calendar on our website. So a lot of ways to get the information. For additional information on upcoming classes and programs, please visit the United Hebrew website. And thank you, as always, to the gang who works for the tech team and making it possible for us to be together virtually tonight and every time, every week. So please check your website as well or call the office for the gift shop hours. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Helene. Shabbat Shalom. As Helene said, there are so many things going on at UH, which is wonderful. We hope that you'll join us for many of them. And as Cantor sang about a moment ago, the song Lechi Lach is in homage to this week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha, which speaks about Abraham and Sarah and his family beginning their journey to the promised land, to the land of Israel, even though he didn't necessarily know exactly where he was going. And so as we go through our lives, we all go on journeys of different types. Oftentimes, as I wrote this morning, the most important journeys are those ones that we don't necessarily have a destination for, because that's where life is lived. And our prayer as we move towards the conclusion of our service, Aleinu, is a reminder of that. It's a reminder that what we're doing here now at our service doesn't stay here with us, but should continue with us throughout our journeys. And so I invite you all to please rise as we turn to page 586 for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
on page 594. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. This week, the heartfelt condolences of our congregation go out to the families of Betty Nobler Friedman, David Andrew Lang, Dr. Dennis B. Winthrop, and Jerome Jerry Yaffe, for whom we are in this first week, this period of Shiva, of mourning. We also think of those who have died in the past 30 days as we remember for Shloshim, Norma Cherry, Penny Codner, Goldie Cray, and Marion Levy. And we add to these those who have died at this season, at this time in years past, as we remember the yahrzeit of Ellen Appleman, Rose Mary Backler, A. David Balk, Max Barnholtz, Stanley Edward Beck, Rose Berger, Andrew Seth Bierman, Goldie Block, Gloria Bloom-Rosen, Minnie Jaffe Blumenau, Louis M. Blumenthal, Jesse Bronstein, Nancy Ellen Brown, Jack Claris, Isidore Cohen, Todd Evan Cohen, Samuel Ellis, Joe Fagan, Sylvia Fagan, Thelma Faintich, Marcus A. Feldman, Sarah Fisher, Ida Fixman, Jack M. Gentle, Dewey G. Getzlow, Sam Gimpelson, Carlin E. Gitlin, Jacob Greenberg, Gerson S. Grohlman, David N. Grossberg, Mamie E. Grossman, Rose Grossman, Dr. Carl J. Heifetz, Elaine Hutkins, Bertha Jacobs, Rose Kaiser, Gertrude Carney, Jack Kinberg, Saul Kransberg, Dorothy Krell, Joseph Lerman, Mitchell Melnick, Wilma Jean Messing, Martin H. Milner, Elaine Newman Morans, Abraham Moulton, Louis N. Nackman, Isaac H. Niss, Jenny Pachter, Henry M. Pozlowski, Bertie Patashnik, Samuel Rain, Jeffrey Raymond, Nathan Raymond, Sidney E. Rich, Fred Ring, Norman Robertson II, Solomon Rodenberg, Morris Rosenstock, Thomas Rothwell, Eva Salomon, Dorothy Bierman Sando, Joe Schneiderman, Bertha Schrenzel, Esther B. Schwartz, Alex Siegelbaum, Mayor Sirks, Mary Seslin, Lois Clayman Shear, Ethel Hutkin Sherman, Simon S. Sohn, Nathan N. Stein, Marlene Grossberg Stone, Sylvia Strauss, Myron Wally Waldman, Erwin Walpert, Mildred E. Weiss, Hattie Wild, and Louis G. Zelson. If one of these loved ones is yours, I invite you to rise that we might recognize their memory. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing. And I now invite everyone to rise and stand with our mourners as we join together in one community and one family of humanity in our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yit Gadal V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirte V'yamlich Malchute B'chayachon Uv'yomechon Uv'chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael Bagala Vizman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Olamei Maya Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Romam V'yit Naseh V'yit Adar V'yit Alev V'yit Halal Shemei D'Kudisha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechamata Damiran Belma V'imru Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all who mourn, to which we say, Amen. And as Rabbi Rosenberg spoke about at the beginning of our service, that we have a bit of a confluence, a butting against one another of our Jewishness and our Americanness. I know that Cantor, you actually have something special for us that embraces a little bit of that
Who, me?
combination.
I'm just going to sing Oseh Shalom. Hopefully, You can sing it with me and maybe even snap. Let's see. עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום במרומיו. עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, הוא יעשה שלום על כל התבל. עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום במרומיו. עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום, עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.